Hello, everyone. Today, we are going to learn about the differences between flat coloring and thick painting in CG illustration. In this lesson, we will learn the different painting techniques for flat coloring and thick painting. First, let's look at these two images. You can compare them. Let's examine these two pictures. Actually, it's quite obvious. Thick painting has richer colors, and the color transitions are smoother compared to flat coloring. Let's look specifically at the differences in the hand. From the light and shadow relationship and blending, we can see that the transitions in thick painting are very natural, closer to realistic lighting and shadow effects. Flat coloring has very distinct boundaries, more akin to the coloring style we associate with the two-dimensional anime style. In flat coloring, the transitions are sharper, and the dividing lines are clearer. Actually, you can think of flat coloring as traditional Chinese painting and thick painting as oil painting. Does that make it easier to understand? Next, we will learn about flat coloring and thick painting separately. First, let's look at this flat-colored illustration. I mean the image I am zooming now. Clearly, the sense of volume in flat coloring is not as strong as what we just saw in thick painting. Its technique is also relatively milder. We often call it cell painting, a very extreme form of flat coloring style. Many students aren't quite sure what cell painting is. It actually refers to the early cartoons we used to watch, such as Disney cartoons or Tom and Jerry. They were produced using cell painting. So, flat coloring can also be understood as the method for characters in animated films. Flat coloring has very distinct shadow boundaries, clear lines, and obvious object edges. Let's look at these items. First, the distinct shadow boundaries are visible. There is no color blending. The shadows and highlights are very distinct on her thigh, as well as her hair and hat. The shadows are also very distinct in the next part, including the highlights on the character's hair, without any blending. Then, the outline edges. Unlike in thick painting, the line art is maintained and not abandoned. Flat coloring features adding color on top of the lines, preserving the line art. Now, let's look at the facial features in flat coloring. We have simplified them. The shadows, the brightness on her face, the mouth, and the eyes are basically defined using lines and color blocks. But this doesn't mean it is easy to draw with flat coloring. First, flat coloring requires very high-quality line art. Let's take a look. Why are the requirements so high? When drawing this illustration, you must use line art to clearly define the structure and overall form with high accuracy. Moreover, we need to use very simple lines instead of complex lines to outline its clear structure and perspective. For both the scene and the characters, the structures and perspectives are sketched with simple lines. Now, let's demonstrate the flat coloring method with a section. Due to time constraints, we won't draw a complete one today. First, I have a line art layer here. This is the line art I have just finished. We'll use the hand for demonstration. Later in the process, you can see how I handle the shadows of the skin. First, we place the line art layer on top. When coloring large areas, we can temporarily hide it. Put the line art back on. and zoom in on this small area. How do we paint the shadows of the skin? Many students might say, I'll select a skin color, choose a shadow, adjust it a bit here, and then just paint over it. Is this method correct? It's okay if you have a very good understanding of skin tones. But normally, we shouldn't color this way. First, create a new layer. Then set its blending mode to multiply. Then sample the original base color. Subsequently, set the layer to multiply here. Then press Ctrl plus Altitude plus C to create a clipping mask to the line art layer below. In this way, we won't paint outside the lines. Then we can paint the shadows. This is the correct way to paint skin color. Then add shadows. Add a bit here, just enough for subtle shading, not too much. Now, let's take a look. This is the flat coloring method. Next, let's learn about thick painting. First, let's look at an image. Take a look at the full image. As we just said, thick painting can be thought of as a kind of oil painting. Thick painting is essentially an oil painting technique. It uses the buildup of paint to model objects and characters. Because there is no line art. Have you noticed, everyone? Thick painting doesn't require line art. It relies entirely on color to create a sense of volume for the character. This technique can give the painting a certain texture, and through layering, a three-dimensional and solid effect. It gives the work a thick, substantial look, similar to oil painting. Modern game CG mostly uses this painting method. We don't focus much on using lines to outline the character. Instead, tonal relationships and color layering are our focus. Simply put, it's about turning the black, white, and gray tones into color, plus the effect of light and shadow on the colors. There are three common ways to start thick painting. The first one is the line sketch method. After roughly sketching the character, we first differentiate the highlights and shadows with lines. The second is the block-in method. Before coloring, we first lay down large areas of values. The last one is the silhouette method. The silhouette method is simple. We first apply black, white, and gray values. Thick painting generally has two coloring methods. One is the grayscale coloring method. In Photoshop, we first model the forms with only black, white, and gray, and then add other colors. Objects painted this way usually have a strong sense of volume and texture. The colors tend to be more realistic. This is often used by those with an oil painting background. The other method is applying a base color first, then coloring. First, apply the base color for the character, for example, the skin tone. Then we add the shadows, followed by the highlights, considering the lighting and shadow effect on its colors. This has also become a favorite coloring method for artists in recent years. This coloring method can make the image more beautiful and the colors brighter. There are no obvious outlining lines in the image. Color blending is even and natural. We blur the edges of the shadows instead of preserving a clear line like jigsaw puzzles. If we desaturate an excellent thick painting, after desaturating it in PS, it should look like a beautiful grayscale drawing. Therefore, thick painting tests the artist's fundamental drawing skills most. Now, let's look at the thick painting technique. This is our previous flat coloring practice. Let's delete it. Hide that layer. And then create a new layer. The previous skin color was a bit too yellow. Let me adjust it slightly. Let's start by applying the base color. First, following the outer lines, fill in the base color properly. Then move it above the line art layer. Temporarily hide the color layer. Check if its edges are smooth. We see this area needs to be trimmed. It's already outside, we need to erase the excess. Now I'll start coloring. First, fill in large areas completely. Turn the line art back on. This is our base color. Then create a new layer clipped to the base color layer for thick painting. As mentioned, set its blending mode to multiply and still sample the original base color. Then we start painting. At this stage, some students might say to use a soft brush. And then the painting will have some blending. Some might say to use a larger brush size. This creates natural blending. If you are skilled with soft brushes and know how to avoid making the image muddy, that's acceptable. But it's better to follow the line art step by step. Select brush 19. The advantages of brush 19 are well known. I usually choose this type of brush for blending. Erase this part. Create another layer clipped below and set to multiply. Now we can choose a slightly darker color since our base color is already done. Similarly, lower the value a bit, because female skin should have a slightly pinkish tone. Now adjust the opacity. And make it a bit higher. When erasing, blend it slightly. Then go back and continue. Use the brush tool. Let's assume the light and shadow are coming from here. This is the highlight area. For example, we're using sunlight. The character is in sunlight, so we need to make the areas where sunlight hits the skin brighter. And in the shadows, add a slight reflected light of the skin's original color. Let's take a look. Shadows. Highlights. We added some sunlight reflection, which brings in a hint of purple. Then there's the highlight. Here's a reflected light area. The basic coloring tone for thick painting is roughly set like this. This is how you apply the color, then we refine it further. Now, let's compare the two coloring methods again. This is the flat coloring method. This is the thick painting method. You can see they are fundamentally different. There's also something called semi-thick painting. Semi-thick painting is also called pseudo-thick painting. Why? Because it combines the color blending methods of thick painting with the coloring steps of flat painting. In the semi-thick painting method, many artists will first draw a simple line art, then start laying the base color, adding shadows, blurring the color blending parts between highlights and shadows. They might directly use color to correct inaccurate areas and only emphasize the line art in key areas. This method doesn't require highly detailed line art, nor the complex coloring process of thick painting. The output effect largely depends on the artist's color palette choices for the piece. Objects painted this way are not as three-dimensional as in thick painting, nor as flat as in flat coloring. It emphasizes the joining of color blocks. It makes the image's colors fresh and gives it a certain texture. Let's demonstrate it. We'll still start with a base color. This color is too dark. Apply the skin color. This time, we don't need to select brush 19. When applying the base color, we don't need to use brush 19. We might choose brush 19 for detailed areas like the eyes. I personally believe that whatever brush you use is fine, as long as you can achieve the result. There's no need to be rigid about using specific brushes. For semi-thick painting, I usually choose this soft-edged brush. Set the brush size to maximum. Set the layer to multiply here. See? I just paint like this. Create a new layer for highlights. Press Ctrl+G to clip it to the layer below. Then I might choose brush 19. But I would choose a soft-edged version. This can reduce painting time. Then we need to make some adjustments. Add some reflected light first. For pseudo-thick painting, you don't necessarily have to use the soft brush directly like I did after flat coloring. Because if the soft brush isn't used well, the image can look muddy and blurry. After flat coloring, you can try another method. First, create a new layer clipped to the color layer. Set it to multiply. After painting like this, select the airbrush. It doesn't have to be the airbrush. You can choose another blending brush. Then reduce its size. Just blend it slightly. For semi-thick painting, you can choose either of these two methods. That's all for today's lesson. I hope you now have a general understanding of semi-thick painting, thick painting, and flat coloring.